There we go. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the TED Show. We're kicking off a very busy Wednesday on the TED Show. Wow, I'm back to Mondays. I am super excited to have Nathan Felix on the show. We are going to talk about two piano benefit concert by Nathan Felix at the Nook. If you haven't been to the Nook, it is an amazing place. And we're going to learn about Nathan's journey and talk about the benefit. Welcome, Nathan. We did it.
How's it going, Ted? Yeah, good to be here. We are doing it. You're right.
We are. We're doing it. I know you're traveling, so I appreciate you. So tell us a little bit about you. Before we went live, I said the audience absolutely loves origin story. They want to know if you were always musically inclined. Did you play in front of your parents like kids do? So give us a little 411 on your background.
Sure. I grew up in Texas, in Austin, where you can throw a stone and hit anyone that's going to be able to play a guitar. So I started off in guitar, self-taught, and I think like every, again, Austinite, you have to start a band. So I started playing in bands as a teenager, and I toured around in a punk band, and I got really bored of the style of music I was playing, and I fell in love with classical music. And I'd already graduated college with a marketing degree, and I knew going back was not feasible. So I went to the library every day for almost 4 years, and I taught myself how to compose for classical music. And since then, I've been dabbling in opera and choral music, and that's sort of what I found is my passion, to compose music that's classically based or operatic, but also produce it in unique ways. And for instance, you know, the two piano concert, using two pianos, sitting the audience in the middle. I'm all about presenting something that'll. I'm not trying to shock people. I'm just trying to open their mind slightly.
Well, I think classical music, and I've got a bunch of questions for you. I think classical music, opera, anything like that, people are intimidated by it. They probably need an easier way for it to be more palatable so that they can grow and appreciate it. But because of those styles of music or opera, sometimes they feel like, well, I feel dumb. I don't know what they're saying. I don't understand this. I might like the music, but I can't identify it. So you doing a spin on it and making it more your own unique way where the audience is engaged, I think is awesome. And we'll talk more about the event. I have a question. So your marketing degree, but did your family, were they musically inclined and that's why you picked up a guitar? Or is it really truly because Austin is the city of music?
Truly because of Austin. No one in my family plays music or has played music before, so I'm the first.
What was that like? So when you're playing guitar and you're in a punk band, are you playing guitar and singing, or are you playing just guitar? And I don't mean to minimize that, but
quasi singing, screaming. You know, my mom.
It's punk music, my friend.
Yeah, that's punk, right? That was my way of kind of presenting something where I didn't have to be flawless.
So what do you think when somebody thinks of classical, like I said, I think classical and opera, they get a little intimidated. What are you doing differently, or what are you creating differently with this event, with two piano concert benefiting, a benefit concert at the Nook? What are you doing differently? How are you going to put your unique spin on it and engage the audience?
Well, I like to break down that barrier of that preconceived notion that classical music or opera has to come with that intimidation. And I really love that word intimidation, because I didn't grow up in this world. I didn't go to school for music. I didn't grow up going to the theater or the opera. So I'd like to think that I'm presenting to myself in a way that I can relate with the audience in that way. And it's about breaking down that barrier and not having to get all dressed up if you want it. It's just, I give agency to the audience to come. And if I want the audience to sit in between the pianos, I've done concerts with 6 pianos and the audience sits in the middle.
Wow.
Trying to give them the surround sound aural experience. But if they decide, I don't want to sit in the middle, I don't feel comfortable, I'm going to stand back, that's fine. I want everyone to feel comfortable. And if they want to engage, let's engage. And when the audience does engage, it gives it more of a communal feel, which is what I'm going for.
What do you think the biggest misconception is about classical music? I took a course in college, one course, we had to, it was required. I learned a lot, and back then, I hate to date myself, but we actually, when the teacher gave the exam, she played a record player, and that had the classical albums on it. So I'm not as old as Bach and Beethoven, but I feel like it when I tell that story. And I enjoyed it because I felt like she opened my mind and allowed me to not really encourage me not to have those preconceived notions. So what would you say the biggest preconceived notion or misconception is about classical music?
That it's old and dying, because there are a lot of great young composers and young talented musicians that are giving classical music a new spin and creating and evolving the genre. So
yeah, I think people, before we went live, we had a couple of people go, Ted, I've always been fascinated. I just don't even know what to think. So let's talk about the actual benefits. So you've already described it. The audience is in the stage. Tell them a little bit about the Nook, and then give them an idea of how they can, what to expect out of the evening.
Sure. So I am a huge fan of the Nook. Every time I come to Orlando, which is a few times a year, I frequent the Nook, and I love their spirit. Mary and Matt, the owners, they throw these events and they have this sort of built-in crowd. It's small and tiny, and I wanted to do something that had this cozy, again, communal feel. So what we're doing is we have 2 pianos in there right now, but we're actually taking them outside in the back, and we want the concert to be outdoors. We'll have seats in the middle of the pianos. We want everyone to feel safe and comfortable outdoors. And the idea is, hey, grab a beer, take a seat, and listen to a lot of music on piano. It's not just classical. We have cabaret, we have jazz, pop, choral, so a little bit of opera. And it's just this wide variety of genres from all local Orlando musicians. And it's kind of like a block party style. That's what I wanted to do, something that,
love that
people feel comfortable.
So tell us about, before we get into all the actual details, the date and how people can get tickets. Tell us about what you're traveling right now. So that means you're maybe touring. Tell us a little bit about Nathan Felix's life as far as his post-major crazy pandemic. So people are out and about. They're going to things like the concert at the Nook. What's your life like on the road, and are you performing this all over the place, or are you doing your own, and how do people get your music?
Sure. So my life is spent, my spring and fall is jumping from city to city, but I consider it touring, but it's not in the typical sense of a band where you play Orlando one night, then you're in Tampa the next night, and then you're in Georgia. For me, I'll go into a city for a week or two and help produce the project. It's really important for me to meet the community and make friends, because I think that's the biggest blessing in my life that music has given me, is that I'm allowed to meet a lot more interesting characters, let's say. So next week I'll be in Texas, then the following week I'll be in New York. 2 weeks later I'll be back in Texas. So it just depends. I don't do the same concert for every city. I've done 2 pianos before in other cities. I've done 6 pianos all over the world, in Barcelona and Australia, but it really depends on what that city wants at the time, or what I connect with in that city and the community. So I don't try to force my music down the throats of anyone. But to answer your last question, I know I'm kind of going off a little bit.
No, I love it. That's what the audience loves. They want to know the inside story of what's going on in Nathan's world.
I do have recordings. So a lot of my projects, like this 2 piano concert, I have one piece that's being performed called Texas Skies, and it's 11-minute classical music piece for 2 pianos. And I recorded it, and so I'm going to release that not until November, but everything of mine, I released my operas and classical music, soundtracks to movies, and it's all under Nathan Felix on Spotify and Google and stuff like that. It's all under my name.
All right. So before we get to dates, I have to ask you, do you have a guilty pleasure music? Is there a secret? You love heavy metal, you love country. I think a lot of musicians do have this, they play a particular genre and that's what they focus on, but they have some sort of other music that people would be surprised that they like.
If I'm going to a concert, I want to go to a heavy metal or a punk concert, and I want to get in there and I want to sweat and mosh pit.
Are you mosh? I was going to say, are you mosh pitting it too?
Love it. I love that feral energy.
All right, so tell us the details of the event. How can they get tickets? What's the exact date? Tell them a little bit more about where the Nook is, because I really do want people to experience this. If you've ever experienced two pianos or dueling pianos, this is more of the classical version, and you're actually engrossed and engaged in the concert.
So the concert is Friday it's 8 to 10. I mean, people can come early and get a beer and look at the pianos, and we might even open them up for people to fool around with them, because why not? It's a benefit. We want people to feel comfortable. Like I said, the Nook is in the Milk District. It's on Robinson and Bumby, and on that block, that quadrant. And like I said, it starts at 8. It's free, so people can just come.
Oh,
the idea is that I want people to come. We'll ask for donations throughout the concert, and all the proceeds go to the restoration, the tuning, the moving of the pianos, which we are giving them to schools in lower income areas here in Orlando. And it's not required that you donate, but we just ask, and it just kind of helps the program.
It's beautiful. All right. So do they go to the website that's scrolling if they want more information, or is there a Facebook page, or how do they get to it so they can look it up and do their own research and then come on out?
Yes, you can look up Two Piano Benefit Concert on Facebook or my website. I'll probably update it right after this. And yes, the information is there. Like I said, it's free. We just want you to come out and enjoy and meet people and hang out in the community. And I know we're supposed to have some guests. I don't know if they're around.
No, I haven't seen them yet, but that's okay. I would have told you. That's all right. We'll tag them. We'll get them in later. So I want you guys, so it's September 24th, this Friday. Starts at 8. It's at the Nook, which is in the Milk District. You guys can look that up. I'll make sure I tag everything and everyone, so you can just click on the link. You can go to Nathan's website, which is scrolling across. If you've ever wanted to enjoy classical music and we're a little intimidated, this is not your mom's, your dad's classical music concert. This is going to be phenomenal. So I want you guys to get out and support the efforts of Nathan and Two Piano Benefit Concert. Thank you, Nathan. We did it. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, support Nathan. Go to Spotify, find his music, download it, buy it. All of our artists need that, and look at what Nathan does with his benefit concerts, what he gives back. So thank you, my friend, for being on the show. I think Friday's going to be absolutely amazing.
Thank you, Ted.
All right. We'll see you guys soon. Get out. Enjoy.